In a small village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a landlord named Kwaku. He owned vast stretches of fertile land, yet he was known far and wide not for his generosity, but for his greed. Villagers worked the soil under the scorching sun, only to see their crops claimed by Kwaku, who demanded more than was fair and showed no care for their hunger. Children ran barefoot through the fields, their laughter masking the sorrow that shadowed the farmers' hearts, for every season seemed to bring more suffering under Kwaku's watchful eye. The villagers whispered stories of Kwaku's wealth, speaking of gold hidden in his house and endless food stored in secret rooms, yet they dared not confront him. One morning, as the rooster crowed over the misty hills, a young farmer named Amari decided he could no longer bear the injustice. With a heart brimming with courage and cleverness, he gathered his friends to devise a plan. Amari knew the people of the village had more strength and wisdom than the landlord could ever imagine, and a seed of hope began to take root amidst the despair. Amari wandered to the edge of the forest where the wise birds sang melodies that seemed to carry the wisdom of the earth. Among them was an old parrot named Nia, whose feathers shimmered with green and gold. Nia listened carefully as Amari told of Kwaku's cruelty and the suffering of the villagers. The bird nodded knowingly and whispered a plan. The greedy heart can be outsmarted, but it must be done with patience and cleverness. Tomorrow, you must invite Kwaku to witness a miracle in your fields. The next day, the villagers worked together, planting vibrant flowers and arranging vegetables in strange, eye-catching patterns. When Kwaku arrived, Nia perched on a nearby tree and began to speak in human-like tones, claiming that the land itself could reward those who were fair and punish those who were cruel. Kwaku laughed, scoffing at the absurdity, but Amari's plan had only just begun. As the sun set, the wind carried Nia's words, and the landlord felt a strange unease in his chest, a feeling he had never known in his life of wealth and power. That night, Kwaku dreamed a vivid dream. He was trapped in his own granary, unable to eat or drink, while the grains and fruits turned to dust before his eyes. When he awoke, he found the same sensation in his home. The walls seemed to shrink, and the treasure he so loved appeared to fade. Panicked, he rushed to the village, demanding to know what had befallen him. The villagers, guided by Amari, told him that the land had grown tired of greed and cruelty, and only fairness could lift the curse. Kwaku, trembling for the first time in his life, promised to change, yet his heart wavered. That evening, Nia flew into his room, repeating a single phrase, "Fairness feeds, greed starves." The parrot's words echoed in his mind like a drumbeat he could not escape. Slowly, the seeds of shame and understanding began to grow, and for the first time, Kwaku imagined life not as a master of wealth, but as a partner to the villagers who had labored for so long. Spring arrived, and with it a miraculous harvest. The villagers worked together, sharing labor and laughter, and even Kwaku joined them, awkwardly at first, but learning the rhythms of planting and nurturing the soil. This time, when the crops were ripe, the bounty was shared equally, with Kwaku receiving only his fair portion. The land seemed to glow with happiness, and Nia sang a song that echoed across the hills, reminding everyone that the balance of justice and kindness brings true wealth. Word of the transformation spread to nearby villages, and travelers came to witness the once wicked landlord now working side by side with those he had oppressed. Kwaku learned that power gained through fear and cruelty is fleeting, but respect earned through fairness and generosity lasts for generations. Even the children laughed freely among the fields, now safe from hunger, while Nia's voice reminded all who would listen that wisdom often comes from the smallest and most unexpected creatures. Years passed, and the village flourished like never before. Kwaku became a respected figure, not because he had wealth, but because he had learned humility and the importance of caring for others. The fields were always green, and the rivers sparkled with clarity, for the land itself seemed to smile upon those who worked it with love and fairness. Amari became a storyteller, recounting the tale of the wicked landlord and the clever parrot, ensuring that future generations would remember the lesson. On quiet nights, the villagers would gather around the fire and hear the distant call of Nia, still perched in the tallest tree, reminding them of the delicate balance between greed and generosity. The story of Kwaku spread far and wide, a reminder that even the hardest hearts can change when faced with the truth of justice, the wisdom of the earth, and the cleverness of those who refuse to bow to cruelty. And so the village thrived, wrapped in laughter, music, and the gentle hum of a land that had learned to smile once more.